Please be seated. As you know, today I think is a pretty good day for the Space Coast in the sense that Cassini lifted off successfully here from the Cape. Also, Florida Marlins are heading to the World Series, and we hope that to be a victory. And last but certainly not least on the day's fun activities, the dedication of this very fine piece of work we have here by Johnson Controls. And I'd like to start off the activities this afternoon by introducing Miss Norma Hines, who has some words that she'd like to say and some words of thanks to some folks that have done an outstanding job for us out here at the museum. Mrs. Hines.
Thank you, Colonel Goings. Good afternoon, Colonel Starbuck, General Starbuck, ladies and gentlemen. I'd just like to give a little piece of the past history of the roof that we have moved from the lighthouse to this gazebo. About 15 months ago, the Air Force had a new roof put on the Cape Canaveral Air Station Lighthouse. During the process of taking the old roof off, Don George, an environmentalist that worked for Johnson Controls at that time and is currently employed by GRCI, recognized that the copper roof was over 125 years old. He immediately had an idea of what should be done to preserve the roof. At that point, he went to see Jim Hoban and explained his idea of preserving the roof in the form of the gazebo that we see now. Jim agreed to pay for the material if we could get the volunteers to help do the work. First, we had to approach the lighthouse contractor, Atlantic Waterproofing and Coating, to see if we could buy the roof back from them. After explaining the historic value and Johnson Controls' plans for turning the roof into the gazebo, they agreed to donate it. Originally, they were going to sell the roof for scrap value of 90 cents per pound, as it was, and it was painted at that time, or $1.90 per pound if they blasted it, which would have been approximately $1,600 to $3,200 that they could have received from the roof, which weighed about 1,700 pounds. After that, Don Bryant, a Johnson Controls engineer, architectural engineer, volunteered to draw a sketch and design the project. I'd like to call the volunteers that did work on the project. Don George, who was the instigator of the project, and as I call your names, if you would stand, and Don is already standing, if you just wave your hand, Don. Mary Hammett, Mike Criswell, Mike Dornbush, Jim Mulligan, Jim Trent, Duncan McCullough, Ron Smith, Rick Kowalczyk, Ernie Conyers, Mike King, Frank Sausalito, John Marr, Art Conley, Chris Hunt, David Russell, David Ball, Phil Baumbach, Jim Haynes, Jeff Thomas, Kevin Smith, Dan Faden, Bill Luce, Alan Giese, Bob Myers, Richard Seaves, Calvin Oates, Lipton Moore, A.J. Bryant, John Boville, Pat Hayes, Billy Wilson, Jeff Johnson, Art Olcott, Andy Burton, Stanley Wilson, Steve Heumann, Jim Mankowski, Dan Piaz, J.J. Kelly, Bob O'Neill, Lonnie Turberville, Tom Mossier, Roger Bibbins, Gary Johnson, and Squeed Davis. I'd like to give them all a round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. We do appreciate the volunteer work, the many evenings and weekends that you donated to get this gazebo completed. When the ceremony is over, I'd like to present each of you a certificate of appreciation. The certificates read, "Way to go, Don George," and your individual names will be in there. Cape Canaveral Lighthouse Roof Gazebo, to the outstanding volunteers who gave of their time and skills to saving a piece of CCAS history and helping bring the Cape Canaveral Lighthouse Roof Gazebo from idea to reality. Your efforts are appreciated. James C. Hoban, General Manager. On behalf of Johnson Controls, Colonel Starbuck, if you would like to come forward, okay. General Starbuck. On behalf of Johnson Controls, Jim Hoban, I would like to present this offer of gift to the Air Force Space and Missile Museum, Cape Canaveral Air Station.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you very much for the gift. This is quite a gift and quite a location. The roof you see behind me, that's now a brand new gazebo, is 130 years old. And our children and their children will be able to come here and see this little piece of Cape Canaveral history as they view the museum. Another great site, and if you take a look at the gazebo behind me, it's all volunteer work. And if you take a look at what's going on over here, it's all volunteer work. It's a place where management and labor come together. Many of the people whose names you read there are union members. Some are management, but the point is, it's a team effort, and we, the United States Air Force, and particularly our children and their children, appreciate what you've done here. I know that you named off a lot of people, and we thank each one of those, and particularly Johnson Controls for what you've done. As long as this museum stands here, this gazebo will be here. It's a legacy to the people and the teamwork of Johnson Controls and the United States Air Force. The gazebo is a piece of history, and now you and Johnson Controls are also a part of that history. There's a plaque that will indicate all of the great efforts of Johnson Controls. And the Space and Mission Museum is the right place for this. Thank you again very much for your gift.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to have Ms. Hines and Joe Starbuck go back.
Now, would it be better with the sun behind you? You got to put your hands on here, okay? You put your hands on here. I've done this before, okay? All right. Get the Kodak moment. All right, we ready? All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal portion of our festivities this afternoon. Please feel free to take a look at the outstanding work of what I think is a truly special partnership before the station. Johnson Controls, and also join us in the refreshments over to the right. Thank you very much for coming.
Sure. Thank you very much.
yeah, that's standard. That's standard. That's no problem. The point is aesthetically pleasing to the eye and the end result. And